What is up, weather enthusiasts? I'm your host, Pat's Path Predictor. Let's get right into the weather. Alright, so this is the situation we have right here. This is Invest 91L on satellite. As you can see, the convection has really expanded in size. We're seeing a very decent area of minus 60 cloud tops right here. The NHC has 3 areas of interest going on right now, but all 3 of these either have a medium or high chance of development. Like, look at this one right here out in the subtropical Atlantic right here. This has a 70% chance of formation in the next 48 hours. This only had a 10% chance of formation in, like, yesterday. So this thing really has improved in structure. I've been looking at it. It's been designated Invest 93L. And yeah, it does look like it could potentially develop, but we'll have to keep an eye on it, and we'll get back to that in a second. We'll go ahead and read all 3 of these before we go ahead and do anything else, but here we go. Data from a NOAA aircraft reconnaissance mission earlier today shows little change in organization, of the area of low pressure located several hundred miles east of the Lesser Antilles, although environmental conditions are only marginally conducive right now. Additional gradual development of the system is expected, and a tropical depression is likely to form within the next couple of days. The disturbance is forecast to move slowly west-northwestward towards the adjacent waters of the northern Leeward Islands. Okay, additional information, alright. Formation chance, 60% in the next 48 hours, 80% in the next 5 days. This one right here, an area of low pressure showing signs of organization over the central subtropical Atlantic, about 850 miles south-southwest of the westmost Azores. Environmental conditions are expected to be conducive for development, and a tropical or subtropical depression is likely to form within the next day or so, while the system is generally drifting eastward. Additional information, okay, that's for the NWS, 70 and 80%, as I said, in this area right here. Showers and thunderstorms associated with a broad area of low pressure located in the northeast of the Cabo Verde Islands has changed little since earlier today. Some gradual development is possible, and the system could become a short-lived tropical depression, over the far eastern Atlantic during the next couple of days. By late this week, environmental conditions are expected to become increasingly unfavorable for further development. 40% chance of development in the next 48 hours, and 50% chance in the next 5 days. So we basically have a 50-50 shot with this one. So, yeah, that's something interesting I've been keeping an eye on right here. Let's go ahead and go back to Invest 91L, because this is kind of like the main meat of the story for today. We'll go over 93L in a little bit as well, but as you can see, this is the current information. 15.2 degrees north, 50.5 degrees west. Maximum winds are now 30 knots or 35 miles per hour. Central pressure is 1,008 millibars, and the maximum radius of maximum winds is 90 nautical miles. So that's what we're looking at right here. Let's go ahead and take a look at the tracks and the intensity of 91L. The track models are quite interesting. They have shifted way to the east since yesterday. In the turn at least, they're still going the same direction for the next 5 days, but yeah, it's not turning right at the south of Bermuda. It doesn't look like at this time Bermuda is going to get any impact, so if you're in Bermuda, you seem to be in the clear for now. So, yeah, we do have a 1 mile right here that makes a close pass to the Lesser Antilles and makes it towards the Bahamas right there, the UKX2, but this is just 1 model out of the pack. The intensity models are also interesting. Once again, the majority of the models have it at hurricane strength. A couple of models actually have it as a major hurricane right here, the H-Wharf and an IC right here, which that's an interesting development. We've been seeing that ebb and flow between Cat 2 and Cat 3 throughout the entire time, so that's something that I've been keeping an eye on. So, yeah, if we take a look at the global sea temperatures right here, plenty of warm water for development. Right here, 28 plus degrees Celsius or 83 plus degrees Fahrenheit. Wind shear. The wind shear has been improving in the eastern Atlantic. Where this area is right now, it's in that pocket of low wind shear. This area of wind shear, I've noticed, has kind of started to narrow a little bit. So we'll have to see if that trend continues or not. We'll have to pay attention to it as time continues to go on. We're going to go ahead and start showing you some model runs right here. We'll start with the GFS run for generally, and then we'll go to the 91L model runs. Let's go ahead and take a look at it right here. This is the newest from the GFS right here. This starts developing. This area actually up here starts developing into a strong tropical storm or a hurricane strength subtropical storm right there. And then this system right here, eventually its minimum pressure is down to 958 millibars right there. That's a Category 3 hurricane at its peak right there. As it continues to move northward, it passes several hundred miles away from Newfoundland, and then it enters the area of water where it's extremely cold, and yeah, that's nothing really tropical is going to happen right there. This area of interest really develops into a potentially a hurricane-strength subtropical storm or a hurricane. This is the GFS run, so I'm not entirely trusting this system right here, although I will say that this has developed in a very quick frame of time, so anything can happen at this point, but yeah, that's basically what happens to it. This makes a close pass to the Azore Islands before eventually dissipating right there. So that's basically the latest from the GFS. Let's go ahead and pull up the HMON model for 91L right here. So, and this is quite interesting. Let's go ahead and pull up the 850 millibar height and wind just to give it an easier read. This is interesting. It starts developing in the next 48 hours, and then it starts to really ramp up in intensity. We potentially see hurricane strength at this point. We're looking at a low of 981 millibars so far, and this looks like a Category 1 hurricane according to the HMON model right here. We already took a look at the GFS. Let's go ahead and take a look at the HWRF because this is quite interesting. This does have it as a major hurricane. Keep that in mind. I saw in the intensity runs. But this is, I want to see how this develops. It really starts developing, according to the HWRF, it starts developing in the next several hours, which, considering the wind shear that's in that area, I don't think is going to really happen. I think it's just a little too fast for that. But it does later on have it strengthening to a Category 1, potentially Category 2, potentially a Category 3 hurricane. This is 947 millibars right here. That's either a high-end Cat 3 or low-end Cat 4 right there. So this is something that I need to pay attention to for the next few days. The good news here is that it's not really going to impact any land, so that's good. Just, it's an interesting case study. This is 942. Look at the winds at 850 millibars. That's really close to like 140 knots at 5,000 feet, where around 850 millibars is. And yeah, that's the newest I've seen from that. So yeah, we'll have to continue to pay attention to it as time continues to go on. The good news is, once again, it's not going to impact any land. It's just going to be a fish menace, but it is going to be an interesting case study if it does develop into a hurricane. But yeah, I have to keep saying this once again. Hurricane season is not over yet. It's far from it. And I will continue to update you guys here on the Pat's Path Predictor channel. But with that being said, it's going to wrap up this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you are new. It helps me out. It helps me make more videos like these. The goal of this channel is to get more people engaged with weather. But with that being said, have a wonderful day. Stay safe.